Why didn't the US act against China 30 years ago? How did China transition from a developing nation to a global power on par with America? The answer lies in America's priorities. In the 1980s, Japan was the US's main economic concern. Japan's dominance in industries like automobiles, electronics, and semiconductors left American industries struggling. Detroit's collapse and Japan's real estate bubble, which saw Tokyo's property values outpace those of major U.S. cities, made Japan appear as a far greater threat than China. In 1985, the Plaza Accord, a U.S.-led agreement, devalued the yen and crippled Japan's economy, plunging it into stagnation. By the early 90s, the fall of the Soviet Union further solidified the U.S. as the sole global superpower, and China seemed too distant to pose a serious threat. The focus then shifted to the European Union, which emerged as a formidable economic bloc in 1993. By 1999, with the introduction of the euro, the EU directly challenged the US dollar's global dominance. In response, Washington worked to contain Europe's influence, even supporting China's entry into the WTO in 2001 to use it as a counterbalance. In the beginning, China's rise benefited the US-American companies thrived by outsourcing manufacturing to China, where cheap labor and high profits created a mutually beneficial trade relationship. China's purchases of US debt helped keep the dollar strong, and its cooperation during the 2008 financial crisis stabilized the global economy. With Europe subdued, China was an afterthought. However, by 2017, the reality set in. China was no longer just a supplier, it was a rival. A classified report warned that China had surpassed its role as a mere economic partner and was positioning itself as America's biggest competitor. This shift prompted the U.S. to take drastic actions, including trade wars, technology bans, and financial sanctions. Looking back, it's clear. China's rise wasn't part of a grand American strategy. It was a result of global circumstances. With Japan's dominance, the collapse of the Soviet Union, and the rise of the EU, the U.S. simply had larger concerns. At times, China's success even benefited American interests. Only when China became a true rival did the U.S. shift its focus.